What is the best way to navigate the recent volatility? Well, that is the question being asked at the moment, isn't it? Iván Scherman is CIO at Emerge Funds Investments, a multi-asset and multi-strategy quantitative algorithmic hedge fund, which has delivered an average annual net return of more than 23%. He caught up earlier with Juliet to talk about the best way to trade in these uncertain times.
The volatility we had this week is something that already happened in the past. So this kind of volatility is contemplated in the models we trade. So our models deal with this volatility the same way they have dealt in the past.
You mainly trade, though, on known events, so evidence-based known events. When
Exactly.
something unknown happens, like a black swan, how does that upend your strategy?
Considering that we only trade known events and things can change, we use risk control in order to stop the trades that may fail due to these unknown events.
All right, tell us a little bit then about your strategy, and particularly as you're focused on futures trading.
I have a data-driven approach to trading futures. What I do is I look for repetitive human behaviors, patterns, because these patterns are going to show me the possible outcome once the conditions or those patterns are met. So if I can detect that certain conditions or pattern appears in the market, I can know in advance what the result is going to be with certain margin of error, of course, and that's where risk management gets into the game. But the most probable outcome is going to be the one that already happened in the past. So by trading with that approach, I know that I have the probabilities on my side. I have the statistical edge on my side, like a casino.
Yeah, so you're basically saying any sort of seismic event like we've seen in markets over the past week has been seen before, so you can use past known events to model
exactly.
your trading. Tell us about how the macro environment then changes things, particularly given there's such an uncertain geopolitical risk at the moment.
Yeah, I know that that's something people is talking about, but in the past we already had wars, we already had interest rates, raising interest rates, we already had deflations, inflation scenarios, all kind of macroeconomic environments. So if, for example, in the way we trade, in our approach, we go to the history of the assets and the markets we trade to see how these assets behaved in the past in all kinds of scenarios. We try to look back 50 years, 60 years, 100 years to find out how these patterns behave in the past in those kind of scenarios. I could say that, for example, this kind of scenario appeared at the end of the 70s, for example. The inflation environment that we had the last year appeared in the beginning of the 80s when Paul Volcker rose the interest rates. So there's nothing new under the sun. So I think
with that in mind, what sort of tools are you using? Because you use a lot of robotics and data as well.
Say it again, please.
What kind of tools are you using, like robotics and data, to I guess, plan your trading?
We have our proprietary software. We have our own platforms. We create our own software. We have our own engineers to do so. We only buy the data in order to use that data to know what has happened in the past, of course. But we produce our own software to create our systems.
Do you think that the industry needs evolving, though? There'll be more adoption on robotics or AI?
Perhaps. This, of course, is something that is in the media right now. The thing is that to use AI efficiently, of course, you have to be good at what you do, even without AI. And in the industry, you have a lot of in the traditional industry, you have a lot of subjective approach to investments. Most of the industry works that way, and I think that these kind of tools is like reserved for the ones who already make trading, algorithmic trading, for example. You can find different usages of AI for different approaches, but not to trade directly, because first of all you have to have your systems working perfectly in order to improve them through the use of AI.
Yeah. Well, speaking of having, I guess, success and luck on your side, you've been named the world's top futures trader for 2023. Tell us about that, what it involves.
Thank you. Yes. It was very challenging. It was a very intense year. But I try to keep my approach, trading algorithmically through the use of data-driven strategies till the end, of course, because in certain moments I had some competitors who got very close to my position, but I kept on the way of trading with this approach, and it reinforced my perception that this is the best and the most intelligent approach to investment.
And markets are always forward-looking. So what's next for Emerge Funds? Because you are based here in Australia, but also in South America and Dubai, I believe.
Yes, Dubai. And Australia is an intelligent country with intelligent people.